I said that when I get to 20 subscribers, I'll create another video about this machine below me. Well, as you can see, a couple of things are going to change since the last design. For one, lava buckets are not any bugged anymore. Come down here, you can see that, well, lava buckets, they were stacked. In the video, of course they were stacked. I can pick them up, but I can't stack them anymore. It doesn't work anymore. Also, the farm seems to have appeared stopped working. It's not going with full 8 anymore. I think I'm going to rebuild this one. Well,
what follows is a brief construction montage.
Thanks for the suggestion from a Menus Glab, who suggested that I use chain in the wither cage rather than lightning rod. However, after a bit of testing, I realised that the chain and the lightning rod are in fact different sizes. The lightning rod is slightly larger than the chain, and when in testing, well, yeah, the wither got out. Yeah, sorry mate, but great suggestion. I was in a stream with a friend, and I just realised something really strange. Over here, I used the rails to pick up all the obsidian, as the hoppers can't keep up the speed. But then, if I look over here, I've set all the rails up, and I place the threads and dust, and the rails like reset or something. It's the strangest thing. Hello everyone. I've been working on this farm for a couple of days now, and I think I've finally reached to the point where it's reasonably finished. So as you can see, it's gone through a lot of changes. The biggest change here is adding the lava farm down below. This lava farm is a design by Razeworks, and according to him, it should make 2,400 lava buckets per hour. However, according to my calculations, it should only make 900 lava buckets per hour. I say this because it takes 20 minutes, approximately, for each one of these cauldrons to fill, and if there are 17 by 16 cauldrons, then theoretically, we should make 900 lava buckets per hour. I'm not sure where you got the number 2,400 from, so I'm going to go off my estimation of 900 for now. Now, how this lava farm works is there's a whole bunch of lava cauldrons at the top here, with dripstone from the lava dripping into them. You sit in a little minecart with holding down right click on a bucket, as you go along the minecart. Because you have a full inventory, all the buckets full of lava that you put into the inventory then fall out into the water stream down below, pop up here, fall into this dispensers, come up the top of this water bubble fountain column, copper down this hopper line, into this minecart with hopper, and then into the hoppers, and finally back into the farm. Now, as you can see, the farm is much smaller compared to the design over there. This is because I've simplified it a lot. In the previous design, I had all these little machines like alarms and all these other little features that weren't necessary, such as this part here, which would block certain amounts from coming in. Also, the farm's broken, not sure that happened, but anyway. In this one, it turns out we don't need it, we can just activate them at will, as our hopper system down here, which I'll explain in a second, is actually fast enough to dispense all the hoppers into another water stream to then put back into the farm. Another thing I want to mention is that this farm still runs on that 12-tick clock, as it is the perfect weight of 1 snowball to 1 obsidian for the least amount of time wasted. However, there's an issue. To fulfill that, we need to make 48,000 obsidian per hour, which is aka to 48,000 lava buckets per hour. Now this farm, as I mentioned earlier, only makes 900 per hour. That doesn't fit. So what ends up happening is that on each one, we only place 1 to 3 obsidian, and we waste 1 snowball on 1 to 3 obsidian, which is a big waste of snowballs. What we should want to do is to increase this clock so that we get the full 8 per 1 snowball. However, I haven't tested that, and nor I want to, along with the fact that you can daisy chain these lava farms to increase the speed of this farm if you wanted to, so I'm not going to touch that. Now, another thing I wanted to mention is that because this farm is now only making 900 obsidian per hour, it is no different to other farms where you have a nether portal and you're mining the blocks in the nether portal. The one benefit that this farm has compared to those farms is the fact that it doesn't require you to unbreak your pickaxe, aka put mending on your pickaxe and fix it. However, you'll probably need a mending pickaxe if you want to make this farm anyway. The one thing that this farm now has in its benefit is the fact that it doesn't require a good pickaxe to use. In fact, all you need to do is sit there AFK, looking up at the sky inside a minecart, holding down right click, which you can pretty easily do with an auto clicker. Now I'm going to show you the process of setting up the farm. The first thing you want to do is make sure that all your hopper minecarts are turned on. Next thing you want to do is turn on the dispenser system for putting the empty lava buckets back into your inventory. After that, you want to make sure the dispenser system for taking the empty buckets back into the water stream is turned on. Finally, you want to turn on both the farm and the system up here, which transports the lava buckets from this fountain into the hoppers. Finally, you want to come down to the bottom of the lava farm here and get yourself a hopper to put inside. What you want to do is fill up your inventory. You'll need one slot here just for your buckets. After that, you can fill up your inventory with dirt. It doesn't have to be stacked, I just do it for ease of use. But it can be things like this, and have your entire inventory full of just one dirt. What you want to then do is to put yourself in survival mode. As you can see, I hopped out of the minecart in the very beginning. What I want to do is to line myself up with these hoppers here. As you can see, I'm currently not moving. I'm currently focused on that one cauldron right there. What I want to be able to do is to right click with it, and as you can see, the lava bucket fell into the lava stream because I have a full inventory. What I want to be able to do is to be able to face this cauldron above your head, and then when you move along sideways, face that one there. As you can see, if I move slowly, I should be able to place all the ones that are full. How it works is that once you get moving, you get refilled at this station over there, and you keep going along. Aha! This is something else I want to mention. If you hold down right click on a row with 16 lava buckets in your inventory, what can happen is that you run out of empty buckets, which means that you end up with a lava bucket in your inventory. This can be a danger, because when you come along the end here, you can place it along one of these fence posts. And then next time you come by, you can die. What you're going to be able to do is to empty it back in, wait until you come by to the next road, and pick up another 16. On the first time you do this, as in the first time that you use the farm, I suggest you consciously sit there and wait until you've done an entire loop of the farm to empty the majority of the cauldrons. As you can see, from that very little work that we did there over the course of less than 5 minutes, we used a pretty reasonable amount of the cauldrons. We come up here, we can see that we have a whole bunch of lava in here. Each one of these obsidian is directly proportional to each one of those lava buckets. As you can see, if I clear my inventory, we can empty all the chests and we can find out just how much we made. In the space of a couple minutes, we made a fair bit of obsidian. However, this may have been because that we were using the farm when every single one of the cauldrons was full. This is when I came back to my 900 lava buckets per hour idea. I think this because every 20 minutes all of them become full again. This means that in reality, rather than a constant stream of lava buckets coming in, it'll be a massive dump of lava buckets, wait 20 minutes, another massive dump of lava buckets, wait another 20 minutes, massive dump of lava buckets, and so on and so forth. Next I will show you how to place the wither. To do this, you'll need to come when the minecarts have not been placed yet. Make sure to fill in any gaps, like so, and to place down a sideways wither, like so. Then you need to break this redstone, as I've represented here, and place in your parts of a wither. Then place a water bucket on top of the wither to make sure it does not damage anything when it explodes. As you can see, I have a command ready to blow up the wither if anything strange happens. As you can see, nothing strange has happened. Take note here that the front of this wither and the front of this iron golem are precisely 10 blocks apart. Final thing you want to do is to hit the wither. As you can see, it breaks that soul block below it, soulstone block below it. That soulstone block is very important when you're placing the wither. Next, you can take out the water, place the redstone dust back, and then place in your 13 micro hoppers. As you can see, there is 1 stack and 4 in your inventory. To do this, you may just want to crouch on the side here with an invisibility potion. As you can see, you don't have to open the water. But if you're doing this, as you can see, you don't have to open the water. But if you're doing this in survival, it might be a little bit curious. However, right now I'm perfectly safe. Now I shall go over some of the workings of the farm. This farm is reasonably simple. All it consists of is some dispensers dispensing lava buckets into water, which then turns into obsidian. The wither is then hit, moving slightly, which then breaks the obsidian. The obsidian is sucked up by some hopper minecarts, put into some hoppers, and then put into chests. Once a lava bucket has been emptied, it is then put into the storage system here. This here is a storage system which will only let buckets through. As you can see, if I grab a stack of buckets, I put them here, it continually goes from 7 to 8. The storage system will remain stable if it is at 7, but if it goes to 8, it'll open up slightly, letting a single lava bucket through at a time until we get the whole stack down here again. If I activate here, as you can see, we dispense it below into a water stream to then put it straight back into the system for collecting the lava buckets. Another issue I had was getting the lava buckets to flow equally into each side of the obsidian farm. What I ended up doing was creating this bubble fountain, and what would happen is these 2 pistons, which are on the same clock as this farm down below, will then push the lava buckets into each one of the hoppers in the bubble fountain. I chose to do this as when I just had water coming over the top and pushing them in, I found that some tended to get stuck in the middle. Another thing to consider when using this farm is the snowballs. As you can see, it can go through snowballs very quickly. Luckily, as I'm creative, I have a fair few. However, if you're in survival, there are certainly many tutorials that you have to follow if you want to get a large amount of snowballs quickly, especially if you need to stock up. Another thing I want to mention is that if you plan to use this farm overnight, you know that it'll make 900 obsidian per hour. These chests won't be able to store 900 obsidian very easily, especially if you're running it for 10 hours. I do suggest, if you want to, that you lower everything down here by a couple blocks and raise everything above by a couple blocks so you can reroute all the hoppers into a separate storage system. Well folks, thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Also, thanks to 21 subscribers. We managed to get that in 4 months. Maybe we could double that in 2 months maybe? Alright, see you in the next one.